The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Matthew.
Glory to you, O Lord.
Jesus said to his disciples, I tell you, unless your righteousness surpasses that of the scribes and Pharisees, you will not enter the kingdom of heaven. You have heard that it was said to your ancestors, you shall not kill, and whoever kills will be liable to judgment. But I say to you, whoever is angry with his brother will be liable to judgment. You have heard it was said, you shall not commit adultery. But I say to you, everyone who looks at a woman with lust has already committed adultery with her in his heart. Again, you have heard that it was said to your ancestors, do not take a false oath, but make good to the Lord all that you vow. But I say to you, do not swear at all. Let your yes mean yes and your no mean no. Anything more is from the evil one. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord.
We're reminded in the readings from Sacred Scripture tonight that Jesus came not to abolish the old laws of the Old Testament, to bring them to perfection. So we know we still have the Ten Commandments, which we must obey and follow to the best of our ability. We know there are certain laws we have in the church that we follow. For example, we come to Mass on Sunday and holy days of obligation. We fast for an hour before receiving Holy Communion. During Lent, we fast from meat on Fridays. We go to Mass on holy days. So there are certain laws that we obey. They're just church laws that are made for us to bring us to greater perfection inside of Almighty God. And we strive to obey those laws. But the most important, of course, are the Ten Commandments. Back in 1936, in the Olympics that were held in Berlin, there was a German athlete named Lutz Long. Lutz Long held many of the German records in the Olympics, and was very popular among the German people and a favorite of Hitler. And of course, in 1936, Jesse Owens was the American who became famous in the Olympics, winning 3 of the racing events, plus the long jump. And he was not looked upon with favor by Hitler. Hitler, first of all, hated the blacks and he hated the Americans. So when Lutz Long kind of befriended Jesse Owens, Hitler did not take it lightly. Before the race, Hitler got up and left the box and left the stadium. This really was a sign to Jesse Owens that he was putting him down. He wouldn't even stay to watch him. And we know that before the race, they had to qualify for the long jump. The long jump was the one event that Lutz Long held the record for. Jesse Owens was qualifying. The first 2 tries to qualify, he failed. He fell short one time and went wide on the other mark. And he was getting nervous, and he was standing there. He had one more try to qualify, and Lutz Long came over and put his hand on Jesse Owens' shoulder, and he said to him, I want to give you a little advice. He said, move the starting line back 2 inches and jump from back there. He said, I think you'll have it all made. So Jesse Owens did what Lutz Long suggested, and he made it with a foot to spare and qualified. And then when the event came, Jesse Owens beat Lutz Long and won the long jump. And Hitler was very upset about that. And after Jesse Owens won the long jump, he was standing on the podium there, and Lutz Long came over and put his hand around Jesse Owens' shoulder. He started singing out, Jesse Owens, Jesse Owens. And everybody began to chant that. And everybody took it up. And it became so popular that now, even today, in the Olympics, they play that recording of Lutz Long singing Jesse Owens and chanting that. It's still popular even to this day. And after that event of the long jump, Lutz Long and Jesse Owens became very close friends. And they used to hang around together, and they'd sit together at night and discuss the world events and things going on in the sporting world. And a great friendship developed because of the fact that Lutz Long had reached out to him with this kind of compassion and understanding and love, and friendship. And it's what our Lord is trying to tell us that we have to do with one another, to reach out to one another with kindness and love and compassion. He tried to tell us that he did not come to destroy the old law, or to abolish the old law of the of the Old Testament, but to bring it to perfection. And so the law of love is still there. 10 commandments still exist. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not commit adultery, thou shalt not steal. All of these laws are still in effect and important for us to follow, but we have to try to reach out even more. And it's all summed up in the law of loving one another as they have loved us. To reach out and love to other people. This is the commandment that's important for all of us in our relationship to one another. Show that kindness and compassion to one another, loving one another as we want them to love us. And that's the message we find in the gospel today. That Jesus came and bringing that 10 commandments to perfection made it possible for us to put this into practice in our own lives. That simple but so important law of loving one another as Christ has loved each one of us.